don't want you to start a business. I advocate for people to quit their job. I'm a fan of you quitting the job. I'm not a fan of you starting a business just for the sake of doing it. We so often are trying to pick and control our destinies. We forget that there's a plan that we can't see all of. We forget that part. So why do we talk about corporate culture at all? We talk about it because of you. Because as you are going to your job, you sometimes forget to consider how you are being treated in favor of the paycheck. And we never want you to feel that you are just in an environment just to get a check. You deserve better than that. You deserve to live a life that you absolutely love. And by virtue of doing so, you deserve to have a career and a culture that you can assign yourself to that you really and truly love. One of the challenges, I think, when we talk about corporate culture and how people feel in a company, because that's really what culture is, right? It's how do I feel in this environment? As I evaluate corporate cultures and really the human condition as a whole, I find that when people are disenchanted in their workplace, they automatically default to starting some kind of business in the avenue of entrepreneurship. They think, well, I can't be my authentic self here. I can't do what I want here. So I'm going to go build some sort of business. And I realize that in this show, I tell you a lot to go quit your job, because that's ultimately the premise that I start from, that most people have picked the career or the course of action that they're following based on a flawed premise. But at the same time, I don't want you to go build a business either. I don't think that the best right step for most people is going out to start a business. And I think right now there are a lot of people pursuing entrepreneurship that really should have just switched companies or switched careers and stayed inside of a corporate environment. Because there's something to be said for having the person that has been perfectly aligned for a mission that already exists, getting into the right position to take it further. That is what employment should be in its best sense. That each employee, that you should be able to get inside of a corporation and a culture that allows you the space to be your best self and to bring your most innovative things into this already built thing, so it makes it easier for your innovation to get out into the world, because the world still needs what you have, right? Unfortunately, when you are mishandled at your job, when you are taken advantage of or lied to, in a lot of cases, a lot of companies lie. They lie to their employees. They tell them one thing and they get them in the door, and then they do something completely different. So if that happens to you, then you shut down in some cases and just kind of stay. There's a lot of people that do that. But a lot of people say, well, I'm going to go start my own business. Are you starting the business to try to outrun somebody else's condemnation of you? Are you starting the business to prove something to somebody who said you couldn't or you shouldn't or you're not good enough or they gave you a bad review, so you're going to try to make a point? That is still a flawed premise. If it's possible to pick a career path based on a flawed premise, a company on a flawed premise, like just making more money, then it is in fact possible to start a business on a flawed premise. Survival is a flawed premise. I mean, I get it. We have all had to do things to pay the bills and do the things, take care of our families and meet our responsibilities. I get that. Starting an entire business just to survive means that your business is only ever going to meet your survival. Meeting your survival is not the reason to start a business. Becoming an entrepreneur, starting a business, building a brand, sharing your message out loud in the world it's in response to a calling. It's something that you feel from the inside that is telling you that until or unless you say this thing out loud, a version of your life will not actually feel complete. And so you must do it. It's not necessarily the thing that you want to do in response to a disappointment inside of your job. And I know that there are a lot of people that start, side hustles and things of that nature. And they go out and they start to, I'm going to sell jewelry on the side or Mary Kay or whatever. And, that's fine. You want to make a couple extra dollars? Not a big deal. As long as your current work is inside the area and space of your calling. And I'm really saying this in a matter of fact way, because you are here for a reason. You were designed and created and crafted to do something very unique and special and different in this world that only you can do. And if you are feeling that sensing, that pull, that tug to go out into the world and do that thing, then that is entrepreneurship. That is brand building. That is being a personal brand with a message and having something to share out into the world. But if you are doing it just to outrun somebody else's opinion, it's going to be a very difficult endeavor. This takes a lot of self-reflection to be able to land on this and be able to honestly say it out loud, because it's difficult to hear. I started a business because I didn't like my job anymore. My job wasn't treating me well. And so I decided I was going to go start a business. The business is crushing me, but I have to make the business work now. I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. I told them I was going to succeed, so I'm going to succeed. I told them that I was going to make it, so I'm going to make it. I quit with all the hope in the world for these aspirations. But this business I built, baby, it's crushing. And I've been there, right? When I quit my corporate job, I didn't quit to do graphic design. I quit to do something else that I ended up not actively pursuing. Calling work, by the way. So this is how I can talk to you about the struggle. But I quit the job, ended up building a graphic design company. That company crushed me under the long work hours, under the the expectations. I'm not a graphic designer. There's a million graphic designers on this planet that are better than me. Can I do it? Sure. Am I a creative? And so I have like a creative eye? Sure. But I'm not a designer. It was always good. It was never great. It was never my zone of genius. It was just something I could do. It took me longer than someone whose zone of genius it is. So I'm saying this to you to say that if you launched out from your job and started a business, or if you're thinking about doing that, I really need you to think about this before you do that. You might not be intended to start that business. And really, before you say, I'm going to go start this business, I need you to ask yourself, is this my calling? Do I feel that I am being divinely asked and required to start a brand, to start a business, to share a message, to do something? And is there a way that I can start that now? It doesn't always require that you jump out and quit the job. Now, again, I advocate for people to quit their jobs. If the job is stifling you, it's feeling like you can't be yourself at the job, like a million things around criteria that we talk about here. I'm a fan of you quitting the job. I'm not a fan of you starting a business just for the sake of doing it. If it's something you can't get away from, if it's something that keeps calling out to you, do it. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. If it's something that comes up every time somebody at your job gets on your nerves, might be time for a new company, might be time for a new career path, might be time for a different version of change, but it doesn't mean start a business. And I really wanted to talk about this because I think it's a common escape route. People are like, oh, well, I'm just going to go start a business. And when I start my business, I'm going to do whatever I want. Out here suffocating under a business you were never meant to build. Divinely, God is not going to let you succeed someplace you were never meant to even play. My graphic design company, it was a struggle bus to make basic money, survival mode money, company built on the need for survival. And that was a struggle. And I kept praying, God, let my business grow. God, let my business grow. God, let my business grow. And it didn't grow. And then when it was time, it went away, entirely evaporated. First company, gone. Why? Why would God let that happen? He gave me what I needed. I had just enough. Like literally, just enough, right? So why would he allow that to happen? Think about it from this lens. Why would he let me succeed, become a world-renowned graphic designer when that's not what I was made for? I wasn't made to be a graphic designer. We so often are trying to pick and control our destinies. We forget that there's a plan, a plan that we can't see all of. We forget that part. But that is, in fact, part of this whole thing. So no, I don't want you to start a business. If you're going to quit your job, it matters more what you're going to do next. And if it's not in alignment with who you were made and called to be and what you were made and called to say, then you're just going to end up right back building yourself a box that you don't want to be in a different version. I hear people say all the time, well, I have a business and I'm working really hard and but I'm doing it for myself. What is the premise on which you built the business? What is the premise on which you started your entrepreneurial journey? Was it to outrun something? Was it to prove something? All those same qualifications apply. Because if there's a flaw in your premise, then there's going to be a leak in the crack of your success. Because no matter what, if you built the thing on a flawed premise, it's going to cost you something from in here. And we don't want that for you either. We don't want you building a second version of your life or a third, fourth, fifth version of your life. I'm on like my 12th version of how work happens in my life, right? So we don't want you to build the next version of your life with work at the center, which it should be, calling-based work, authentically aligned work at the center. We don't want you building that next version and it's depleting you. It's causing you to be sick. It's causing you to question your value. It's causing you to question your authority in this earth as the voice that you were created to be. Like, we don't want that for you. So before you get flustered with your job again and decide that you're going to go out here and start something else, ask yourself this very, very important question. Are you wasting the opportunity of reinvention on something you think you have to do? Are you wasting the opportunity of reinvention? That's the question, right? If you can get to the place where you understand that you do need to leave the job, you do need to make the change, the default doesn't have to be set. You don't have to put the gear into entrepreneurship. There's no preset, pre-prescribed thing. So are you wasting the opportunity of reinvention by predetermining that you have to go into entrepreneurship? Or are you going to give yourself the opportunity to consider what you were really clearly called for? Either thing takes courage. It all takes courage. All of this takes courage. It takes courage for you to reconsider what you thought it was going to be. And I think for a lot of people that are probably watching this, you have been thinking, well, when I quit my job, I'm going to start my business. I'm going to ask you to challenge it. There's no pre-prescribed thing. Even as we are discussing all the time here, valuing your value and not letting corporate culture stifle your authenticity and your voice and your innovation and your energy and all those things. Even as we're discussing all of those things and making suggestions about what it could be, I'm encouraging you to still challenge everything, because it's all about what it could be. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Uncultured podcast. If this episode really resonated with you, I want you to go over to my website, theshawnakay.com. Take the 3-minute quiz that's going to give you clarity about what to do for your next steps. No matter what you decide, the next right step for you is in front of you. It is not behind you. You're not too late and you're not out of step. Everything that you need is going to be right where you need it to be. I'll see you soon.